Yeah, man. In the evening time. Good evening. Buenos noches. And welcome to Rock Truth Beats. I'm your host, Chris Lyon, or Marley King. And we thank you for joining us as we rock truth to absolutely nothing at all. Rock True Beats is a cross-cultural response to the lack of choice in music today. Rock True Beats is designed to provide a sound message from theory to lab to life while encouraging the necessity to return back to origin by way of relative keys, his kingdom principles. Rock True Beats seeks to inspire, enlighten, and highlight upcoming and established local and international kings and queens, musical artists of character, while promoting kingdom consciousness and awareness of who we are and to whom we belong. Peace. Molly King, back here tonight, man, with my two wonderful comrades out here with me, man. Glad to see y'all this Tuesday evening, man.
Yeah.
It's been a plentiful week. You know, my weeks run into each other, so a week could be anything from 7 to 14 to a whole month of days for me. You know, so it's something serious, man.
My
You know, I
goodness.
knew, it seems like I haven't really gotten tuned with the Sabbath, man, and found my day of rest, man. You understand?
Yeah.
But it's very, very important. Rest is always key, especially in this Western lifestyle that we live in, man. Everything is so fast paced. We got so much going on, man, and
You
it's
want,
imperative
you want to
that we
hear
get rest.
what I tell Mary all the time?
What do you tell them?
I tell her all the time. I say, if you don't sit down voluntarily, your butt will sit down.
Yes, I done heard it. I done
So,
heard it one too many.
if you don't,
That's why I said I'm here for now. I'll
Yeah.
probably go to the 30 mark, and
uh-huh. If you don't get yourself some
right.
rest,
you're right.
your body will be like, "Good night."
Oh, and
Ah,
it's,
good.
it's built in. It's built into
Uh-huh.
our functioning.
Yep.
You know,
So
so
don't fight it.
I'm not.
Absolutely, I agree. This is one of the only times you may ever see me sitting down. I'm up so much, man, because I always feel like I got to go, man. But right now at 7 o'clock, man, give thanks, Mary, for bringing me in because it's really allowed me to get into my zone, get into my zen. You know, it's something serious for me right now to just sit down for this hour, man, and really get in tune with consciousness, man, and some conscious folk like myself from different walks of life, man. We all come from many different walks of life in this world. And I think it's very important to see them clashes of culture, man, and them clashes of ideologies and perspective, man, because it really just helps us to expand the mental, man, you know, so we don't get so caught up in this one track mind that we see all the time. Because of the frequency, man, there's a certain frequency that is laid over the people right now at this day and age, man. And it's really got people held to this one track mind where people can't seem to think outside of the box. They're caught up in that. You know, when I think of the circle and the square, man, I think of just being, you know, confined to the inside of those things. But what's on the outside of it, man? You know, let's break out to the outer bands, outer reaches of things. It goes hand in hand with the frequencies that we was talking about last week. And speaking of the frequencies, I wanted to bring something back up. Let's think about the numbers 432 and 144,000, man. Now let's think of these numbers here individually. We have a 4, we have a 3, and we have a 2. We have a 1, we have a 4, and we have a 4.
Right.
Okay, what is 4 plus 4 plus 1? Equals 9, am I correct?
Yeah.
What is 4 plus 3 plus 2? It equals 9, am I correct?
Yep.
It's,
Hold on, man. I
it's,
get a
it's,
calculator.
Yes, sir.
I know you can see them numbers. Now you.
I'm gonna have to bring a whiteboard next time. I do some drawings. You see,
You're going somewhere with it. What's the next?
you know, absolutely. So let's understand this, man. The number 9 is very, very significant, especially when we think in terms of numerology. And numerology is very prevalent in this world, and it's only for the keen eye to see. Not everybody's going to be able to see through this particular code. You know, like we was talking last week, I could throw up a peace sign to my brethren, and everybody thinks, yo, he's saying what's up, but that could actually be code to, you know, go get this guy or go do this or go do that. Yes, absolutely. You understand? So let's think of the number 9. The number 9 refers to completion, attainment, fulfillment, regeneration, and revelation. You see? A lot of words in the Bible, they're used for their symbolic meanings and teachings. You know, a lot of it is very mystic, or it's mystically concealed, you know, meaning that is hidden within the text. You know, only those with the keen eye, or that, you know, that enlightened mind is going to be able to reveal the truth out of there. So bread and wine are usually linked together. Am I right? Bread is a 3-powered word, and wine is also a 6-powered word. Together. I thought I seen somebody sneak into the picture. Yes, youth. I'm glad you in attendance, man. Class is now in session. We're talking some serious
That's right.
numerology
That's
right now.
right.
Nonetheless,
That's right.
let's think about the Book of Revelations, man. And we see those numbers 144,000, and like I said, they reach that vibration of the number nine. That revelation or something that is of attainment. The finishing cycle, man, or the level of completion. Okay, so we think of the 144,000, and then we also think of the number 666, man. You see, this is something that's, I think, a lot of people put a bad connotation on the number six in general, and we're going to dive a little bit deeper in here just so we can understand the numbers from a different perspective. To expand our minds here for a second, man. So let's think about it. The 144,000, it refers to the number of people from the tribes of Israel that are going to make it during times of the Armageddon. Okay, so the numbers, they refer to lost, like 666, or saved, 144,000. You think about when we think about that in perspective. Now, humanity, it's symbolically called the hand of God, and it demonstrates the same principle. Hand is a nine-powered word as well. So let's think about those numbers, man. We put such a negative connotation on the number 666, and we think of it as the number of the beast, which was stated in Revelations 13:18. Okay, but the seal refers to the protective sign in the foreheads. We think about Revelations 9:4. They talk about this as well, about the sign being in their forehead. Nonetheless, that's all I'm going to leave us with on that, man, because I could get off into a whole tangent on that, but we got other things to cover here. But the number nine is very significant, man, and we see a lot of things that add up to the number nine in this world, man. And I think it's important that we keep an open mind when it comes to interpretation, because there's more than one way to interpret things. It doesn't necessarily mean that these particular ways to interpret things are going to be what's right, but it's good to see things from these other perspectives, because we can pull things out of certain perspectives, and we could help that shape and form our ideologies, man. I think that's very important. Nonetheless, man, we want to jump back to the number six real quick, and number six actually represents balance, okay, or harmony or cooperation, things like beauty or marriage. Okay, so we have a verse from John 2:6, excuse me. And there were set there 6 water pots of stone. And there were set there 6 water pots of stone for the wedding feast. A wedding represents love, okay, like the number 6, at its most blissful state in earthly consciousness. 6 expresses universal love, for out of the sorrows of personal love, the soul awakens to a much higher life, which leads to illumination and adeptship. Jesus' first miracle changed 6 pots of water into wine, okay? So we're starting to understand the balance here again, okay? And we move on to the number 7 here. This is going to be the last number that we touch on here, but nonetheless, just throwing things around here to get our minds going this evening here. So 7 is the number of rest, cessation, but not ceasing, okay? One of the greatest heritages from the Christian scriptures is the 7-fold path of the Lord's Prayer, okay? The 7 statements express the triad, quaternary, okay? So we talk about Matthew 6:9 through 13, okay? And we're going to list all 7 of these connotations right here. They talk about 1, our Father, which art in heaven. 2, hallowed be thy name. 3, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. 4, give us this day our daily bread. And 5, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. 6, lead us not into temptation. 7, but deliver us from evil. Okay, so we see how these things lined up in this perfect numerological correlation. See, this is why I always say that it always upsets me that a lot of Christians give me a lot of they like to reprimand me when I talk about the numerology. They say that it's the work of the devil and stuff like that. But how is it the work of the devil when the Creator has been using this as a way to interpret creation, or as a tool of creation, since the beginning of time, right. And I think it's very imperative that when we read through these particular texts, like I said, it's not, we're just covering one particular ideology or one particular religion right now. We're not even talking about all the other ones that go across this world and how the numerology is coordinated in there as well. But we just have to make sure that we read and be able to interpret things. And I think that when we dive deeper into the numbers, into the numerology, and understand how that's translated into the letters or into the vibrations of words, I think that just gives us a deeper interpretation of what we're reading, you know, so we could really take it on a deeper level. Now the numbers just aren't numbers. Now the letters or the words just aren't words. Now they have a deeper meaning or a deeper resonance to us. And that's what I found that numerology has really done for me over the past 3 years. You know, I've always been searching for truth, searching for answers, and
Yeah. And that's just kind of going back with what it is that you're saying. Like, you know, yes, it's different interpretations, and that's why revelation is truth, not just information. And so you can have all this information out here. It doesn't necessarily make it true, but like you say, you take that and you look at that, and you're going to still come back to the one. I don't care what religion that you are a part of.
Yeah.
You dig deep enough, you are going back to the one. You're going back to origin. You're going back to foundational.
man,
And you're going to go back to God. It doesn't matter. And so, like you're saying, you see numerology. How can that be the work of the devil when God created everything? So what you see is happening is that he's taken everything that God used and he does the exact opposite with it, because that's the culture. If God's culture is life, he's going to take the number 6 and turn it into death.
absolutely. Just how we see it in here, 144,000 life, 666 referred to as death. You know, said it was the mark of a beast, and 144,000 were the people that were going to be saved. You know, look at the parallels in there. You know, I think it's uncanny not to recognize.
Even with that, I mean, you look at the numbers, but then look at the numbers in the context in which they're being used. Even
Absolutely.
with the mark of the beast, because he's telling you that there is a mark. This is the symbol that they're using. He's not telling us to be ignorant about it. This is the signal that they're using. This is how you know who I am and who he is. But at the same time, it's not saying dismiss or disregard the numerology. You can still use it for my glory and for my namesake. And then 144,000 that people listen, man, that can't be, because so many people have gone and through this life alone, and you will be surprised who will be awake with you. Because I don't even want to say who'll be in heaven with you, bro. Heaven is supposed to be here. You just clearly read his kingdom come, his will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So he ain't told you that you had to go and get there.
As above, so below, man.
Sleep. Right, you going to sleep, man. Like people keep thinking like folks somewhere. No. That's why he was able to call Lazarus back to his body, because Lazarus was just asleep. You sleep.
Hey, a real quick point that I found fascinating just now. I don't know why I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but for whatever reason, we want to keep putting numerology in the devil's wheelhouse. Let's get the devil's wheelhouse correct first here. Lucifer himself is the prince of the air. All right, this is what the Bible says. Therefore, he is this is what the Bible says. He is the prince of music, not numbers. Prince of music. He was the chief musician previously. Y'all think he stopped being the chief musician previously? This is a show about music. Understand, we're talking about music because that's what influences us the most. We're talking about frequency because that's what we hear. That we learned last week, that our bodies, our very body, our skin, which is the biggest organ on our body, absorbs frequency. You hear with your body. So guess what? If I want to influence a person, it's not going to be through numbers.
Yeah.
It's going to be through what they hear.
It's all one. It's all one, because when you look at everything that we do, it's all the one. You know what I'm saying? You're right. His whole domain, his realm of expertise is in the music department. But when you go into music, you're going to find math. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna find science. But that's okay. You go into writing, you're gonna find math. You're gonna find formula. You get what I'm saying? Like this stuff is all gonna be present in everything because he's in everything. But like you're saying, please stop giving him stuff that he has no jurisdiction. That's not his wheelhouse. But he does take what God uses for life, and he turns that directly opposite into death, because that's the culture in which he practices. Yeah, man. This is absolutely.
As we touched on last week too, you know, there's many tools in this world, you know, divine tools at that, you know, and it's all about how we use them, you know. All these tools can be used for wicked, or they could be used for the best of intent. No, something serious, you know.
Yes, it's about perversion. So, and I think because I mean, just watching the different shows, somebody had brought it up, and it was talking about, you know, when you're using something, like I think somebody said a hammer, crowbar. It was something somebody said, and it was like, yeah, when you use that item outside of what the original intent is, it now becomes a perversion. And so, so you take Facebook's original intent, at least what we were told, the original, because with their original intent, they could be hitting marks, they could be hitting their goals. We were given the false idea that it was supposed to be just like a high school reunion.
Oh, absolutely.
We're just meeting old people.
Right? It was supposed to be like you just connect with people you haven't seen before, you talk to them, see what they're doing. That was what, ain't that right? Like that's what
they were told. That's what we were told.
That's what we were told, right? Now we're finding out that no, and so when we're using the medium outside of its original intent and purpose, then we're perverting the medium. When you use a person's body outside of intent and purpose, you're pervert. You're pervert.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's exactly what that word means, man. You know, when we take time to break words down like this, man, then we really start to understand word sound power. You know,
right?
Word sound power. That's what she was trying to get. She was trying to. You keep saying that, and Doc Ock was trying to remember what it was you were saying.
Oh man,
where you at, Marley King? Word sound power. Yeah.
She know what to do, man. That's Dr. Ock right there. Hey y'all, I wanna take this into another direction here real quick too, man. And I want to talk about you know, the power of music. I know this is probably like a common topic that we speak about every week, but there's so much information out there when it comes to the power of music and how it tends to affect us on many different levels. And there's so many more studies being done to correlate with what we're talking about. It's uncanny. It seems like every year or every month we seem to have new studies that are done or new experiments that are done. So let's take a look here a little bit. We want to talk about, you know, how powerful music it is, and I think we spoke last week as well on how we could use this to heal ourselves, heal the environment, you know, cure a lot of things just based on the particular frequency that we're projecting into somebody. And it goes as well as for ourselves internally. You know, if we're projecting a bad frequency, if we're super worried about something, you know, look how sick and depleted that makes us.
Brother.
You know, that's real talk. You know, I think we all can attest to it, especially if we open our minds to be conscious of ourselves, our being, then we can definitely understand what we're feeling. You know, there'll be times throughout the day, you know, maybe something doesn't go the way that I planned, and you know, you get that kind of sinking feeling on the inside, you know, and you got to catch yourself. You got to regain your balance so you don't catch heart palpitations and your heart starts racing, your mind starts going, you know. Everything is connected to that, and I think music plays a very prominent role into that. And there was this lady, this researcher, this scientist. Her name is Elena Mann. Her name was Elena Manns, and she wrote a study called The Power of Music, and it explores how music affects different groups of people and how it could play a role in the healthcare industry as well. Okay. Yeah. So nonetheless, it's pretty interesting. It tracked human relationships with music over the course of a lifespan. So just think of how long that is, man. How long is a lifespan? You know, we think of life. We think of life in cycles of 9. You know, here we go, numerology, the 9 of number of completion again. We think about ourselves from 0 to 9, 9 to 18, 18 to 27. That was our U square right there. Now we go on to power, 27 to 36, 36 to 45, 45 to 54. That's our power square. We're in our power years. You know, 27 to 54 is when we're really starting to make power moves. The U square, we're looking to gain our knowledge, get ready to go out there and exert all of the wisdom that we've taken in. Now we go from 54 to 63 to 72 to 81, which will be our last year of completion, all done in cycles or intervals of 9. And that 54 through 81 cycle happens to reflect wisdom. So you think about that, man. When you're between 54 and 81, usually that's when you start to come in your wise years. You've lived your life. You've learned a whole lot. Yeah, you're still learning, but you got to pass. It's come time for you to pass some knowledge down to the ones below you. So it's very, very significant how the number 9 works again. Nonetheless, lifespan is a very long time. for some people, or it could be very short. Nowadays people are losing their life at 7 years old, and it's so unfortunate. It all has to do with the music. Once again, okay, so let's jump into this. When we think about infants, they prefer consonant intervals, or something that's very basic, one note, one tone. They don't like it to be all over the place, where we like playing the piano and we like hearing all these extravagant notes. And remind you, this is all done in the study. This is not something that I'm fathoming, or something that I'm pulling from my head. These are some studies that was done on this. So they like the smooth sounding ones, or the ones that sound nice to our Western ears, whereas opposed to in the Eastern world, there's a whole different way to listen to music out there, or different instruments, I should say. When we go down south, there's different instruments over there as well. And when we think of the Native American tribes over here, we think about things like the flute, which is one of the oldest instruments in the world, and has been used for many, many cultures all across the planet. Okay, so anyways, back to the infants. They like them smooth sounding notes, and just one chord. They want to play one chord, like a C, or they want to play the F, or they want to play the G. Okay, as opposed to the combination of the other notes. When we start to play all these different notes together, we think about how a guitar sounds when you start playing a riff, or when you're playing the piano and you start playing a riff on there. Something deep. Okay, the cries of babies a few weeks old were found to contain some basic intervals. So when they listen to them in terms of notes, in the music world, we look at things in terms of notes, and a lot of people's ears, they can interpret these particular notes when they're played in a beat that we listen to, or they're played on a particular instrument. So a baby's cry was found to contain some basic intervals. I'm not sure exactly which one. The study didn't list it, or at least maybe I skipped it in the study or so. I have to go back and read a little further into it, see what I can find out. But nonetheless, the basic intervals are found in a baby's cries, a baby that's just a few weeks old. And it's very interesting to say that, music was our very first teacher, in a sense, before our minds knew anything, or even knew how to even think a thought. Music was there guiding us. This woman also says that scientists found that music stimulates more parts of the brain than any other human function as well. So we think about that. Anything else we do in our life, workout, workout tends to really get me going, Mm-hmm. We do all these other different activities throughout the day that may really get us going, or some things that we like more in particular. But music in particular has the power to change the brain and affects the way that it works, man. It's something deep like that, and it has to do with the release of a lot of different chemicals or hormones in our brain. Things like oxytocin, which is the love hormone, or serotonin, which is like our happy hormone, or melatonin, which is our sleep.
So wait,
go ahead, brother.
Did you say it releases the love hormone?
You heard exactly what he said.
I'm talking about like exotic Eros hormone. I'm talking about, like you get that.
Okay, so that would be a combination. Let's go there. That'll be a combination of things like our oxytocin, which is our love hormone, to make us express or feel, this loving, want to embrace with people, and our serotonin levels, which like us to make us feel happy around people, joyful. Okay. All these things start to collide. There's probably a couple more that I'm not listing here, that have to do with that. Maybe the words are just a little bit too difficult to pronounce, or they're a little bit too foreign. But nonetheless, there's a couple other ones in there. And we could feel this. Let's think about the vibration that we feel in particular musics, man. If we listening to, a song from the Isley Brothers back in the day, or if we listening to
Teddy,
Teddy, hey man, we go Teddy P, we go some Isaac Hayes, man. You see,
get some shit. It's a feeling. It's definitely a different feeling. It's definitely a different. I know it's frequency, but it's vibe.
That's something else, man. I say the same thing. Vibe is a whole nother thing. We think about it's something that you really can't explain. A vibe is something that you feel, right?
Yeah.
Vibe is something that
she over there,
It's a whole different vibe. It's about, now it becomes, because when you're talking about vibe, you're now talking about more so atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes,
there's this atmosphere that's, you can feel it in the room, and it's changing. So when you have these, type of frequencies, lower frequency music playing, like it just sets a tone of relaxation. It sets a tone of, it's one that's conducive, of course, to your growth, which has to be a tone of love. Okay. Like you can't grow in any other environment. You know what I'm saying? You can't. It's impossible. Even the smallest taint of, something that's unnatural or hatred in that environment is not going to help you grow. And so you need to have an environment that's conducive. Like he's saying with this baby, with the children, they have this one. They need the one core. They don't need all that all over the place. We would like to introduce them to that so quick, and it's just like, no, they right now they're cool here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like and so you need proper environment that's conducive to growth, and some stuff you're not ready for. Some stuff your body ain't even created to even supposed to bring in. Like you said, we're bringing it into skin. We're bringing it. We shouldn't even be.
So is that why the Allstate man is like so successful?
I think that's a combination of things. Right.
Wait, Allstate. I mean, come on.
Allstate. Okay, I thought
look, man.
What did you think I just said?
I think you're talking about Mayhem. Mayhem is on which commercial? Which one of the insurance commercials?
No, Mayhem. No,
Allstate. He's talking about the man with the deep voice.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Allstate man.
Man. That one.
Yeah,
the black guy.
The black guy. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. From Waiting to Exhale.
He
may have been this other movie.
His name. That's where you get Barry White. How about that?
Yeah, watch out now.
Right.
You see.
Even that's soothing though. Barry White is soothing. That type of it's like, oh my God. But you know what? Since we're on the subject, I've always wondered, because I have a relatively high pitched voice, right? When I was in choir, okay, let me explain myself. When I was in choir, I used to sing soprano, and I could sing it relatively with ease. And my choir teacher would always tell us, it's a reason he can sing soprano, and that was because I hadn't reached adolescence yet. Oh,
but hold on, don't get too.
You were like Bobby from the Brady Bunch,
right? So I don't know who that is. I don't even.
You don't know Bobby from the Brady Bunch.
What's Brady Bunch? You're right. I don't watch everything. I didn't.
The man named Brady. What?
Anyway, so in choir, right? Me singing these soprano notes, it led into my adolescence, and as I grew up, I continued being able to sing soprano. So my range is not stupid. I'm not like a great singer, but I could sing a soprano note. So my voice, on the other hand, has never really deepened. At least I feel like I'm squeaky. When my boys, like, they tease me, they be like, and that's
like you sing when you talk.
Right. Right. And so that I'm bringing this up to ask you a question. I'm asking you specifically, Mary, and King, you can come in on this too.
Okay.
Is that something that a woman has a desire for? Is that a comfort to her to have that type of voice around?
The male. Man, you talking about that the man voice?
That male deep voice.
Yes, I'm gonna say I believe so. I believe so. Like I can right now, because I've never really tested theory, right? Okay. But just kind of like going off of memory, going off of crave, if anything, because it's also part of knowing the dominance is in that room. So you like if you're talking about frequency, so then it just seems like, and it's so crazy, just going through words that are coming to my mind when I'm thinking. There's understanding. Okay. It's then I respect. There's a comfort. There's security. There's just so much just in the base of that voice, and I could just only imagine, like, going back to this baby, the comfort that a child is getting from that. What's so crazy, that now that you say that, because as I've been driving back and forth out to Chicago and stuff, like I've been playing music, and one of them, it's two of them. I was listening to her, I think it's Her Comfortable, and I think Daily and Amarosa and Brocha, and so the bass line in both of those songs though, look, I never heard them like I've heard them in my car. Yeah, and, I'm blasted now, so I can feel the vibrations in the seat of my back, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is like. And when it comes up, I sit back to feel it, because I want to feel it, like just like rumble through. It's something that's so soothing, and but the bass does something to me. It's a calm. Maybe so. I would love to explore theory.
Yeah.
All right, check it out. My turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, so check it out. I tested theory. Okay. So understand how this works, man. You know, a lot of time, maybe my voice maybe sounds middle tone, or maybe it sounds deep right now. But a lot of times during the day, especially when I'm on the mic, or if I'm out there talking a whole lot, my voice tends to get higher in pitch. You know.
Yeah.
So, I asked a woman about this a while back, man. I was like, so how does my voice, you know, do the deep tones or the deep notes of my voice, do they make you feel some type of way? And she's like, yeah, it's very. So the way she explained it through open mind was that the deepness was similar to like a lion's roar. You know, if you think about how a lion is in the jungle, and you think how it expresses dominance, but it also, but the feeling that she also rep from the deep voice was comfort or console. You know, something that makes you feel secure. And it said it was it's very erotic, like it turns a woman on or so. You know, from the deep voice and the way that it's projected, just the way that it shakes us. Think about how you was talking, Mary. You was in the car the other day, and the bass notes, they never hit like that before, you know. When you're in the car and then bass notes are hitting like that, and basses are always low in tone, you know. You can go high, but even the high notes, they vibrate you a different way than any other instrument at a higher octave would vibrate you. And I think it's the same way with the voice. You know, we could feel our voice right now, and if you're talking, especially with me and my deep octave right now, I could really feel, and the lower I go, you know, I could really feel how hardy it's starting to vibrate, you know. And everything in this world is essentially a vibration. When we think of in terms of waves are vibration. We have light waves, we have sound waves, we have X-rays, we have gamma rays. You know, we have all these different spectrums of waves, things that we can't see, so they're constantly interacting with us, you know, passing through us at all different seconds of the day, depending on what we're around. You know, if we're around, you know, electric poles and electric wires and cell phones and things like that, they got a different type of wave coming out. So that's kind of going against our natural wave, you know, our natural hertz, our cycles per second, you know, our frequency that we're resonating. So I think it really ties in. And the deeper we start to dive into this stuff, we could really understand how words can influence somebody on such a deep level, man. You know, I never thought that my voice had power like that. And I don't like to look at it like that, because, you know, I guess power can be used and abused too, you know. So if somebody finds out that their voice can do that, they can abuse it, you know. But some people, their voice is so powerful that they can use it for all the right reasons, but a lot of people won't accept it, you know. Like I got an elder around me, man, and his voice is very hard, you know. I'm not saying his demeanor is hard, but his voice is hard just from being stabbed in the lung when he was a youth, you know. So it's made his voice raspy and deep, you know. So when he speaks the truth, you know, it's hard for people to withstand his voice. And we always joke around. We say, you know, if you can come around and withstand his voice, you know, then you can hang around with us, man. You know, because most people, they're scared away by that. And it's just like somebody having a different vibe coming off of them. You know, you come up to somebody and you could check their vibe right away. If it ain't for you, you got to go, man. You know, some vibes are really wicked. Somebody could walk in the door, you'd be like, damn, the devil walking in the door, man. You know, because you could feel that aura coming off.
That's
real talk. I had some instances like that, man.
That's real. People don't think that that's real. Yo, look, listen, like, that's why I promise you, it's just so crazy, man. That's why when I'm for real with people and I say like, bro, like, just don't come this way, because I see you. I could feel it. I could see it. And I hate like being in a room and now I gotta be disappointed, because you're going to disappoint me. You're coming in fraudulent. You coming in with a different aura. You coming in a different spirit. I see it, and it's like, come on, man. Not today. Just be you. Not today. Just be you. Like,
yeah, man. It's so deep real. Like that.
Feel it. Like, okay.
Hey, man. It's deep on so many levels like that. You had to make me some dinner. I'm sure you did, man. You should have made us some dinner. You should have made us some dinner, man. Give thanks, though. Give thanks for having you.
I love it. I love it. You sure should have died. Sure should have died. Girls.
Yeah. Anyways, man. Let's jump back in the mix real quick, man.
Okay.
Hey, respect. I'm trying to keep us on track, because we could go on for We'll be on here for 4 hours, man. We could get out into so many tangents like this, and I love them too, man, because it really just amplifies me. You know, it makes me feel that power, that vibration, that frequency that's coming through the phone, man, you know? But that's because some good words and some conscious folk are speaking right now, you know? We're speaking at a higher level than most can comprehend, you know? Something serious. we see how this music and all these different vibes that are being taken. So, oh my goodness, man.
Oh,
we're trying to stay focused, Doc. Did it say?
Man, I mean,
That sound good.
I don't know about y'all, but address, please. We are on the way.
Hey, something crazy, man. Yo, so anyways, when we think about with the music and such, man, you know, the frequency that's coming out of this stuff through the word sound power. Hey, Doc, write that down. Word sound power. Don't forget it, man. Install that in your memory banks, man. That's something deep right there. Word sound power, Doc. But we think about the word sound power coming out of the music and how it's got these people in this spirit almost, you know. When you see the guys in the video like this with all the guns and stuff like that, pointing them all around, that's because they in this wicked spirit, man. Look into their eyes, man. Eyes are windows to the world, man. Look into their eyes and see what's going on, you know, behind. Right. You know, it's like the Wizard of Oz in a sense, man. You know, you see all this crazy stuff going on, but then you pull back the curtain and it's just a little man, you know, moving a machine like such, man. And that's what's going on. That's what these young boys and girls are doing out there, man. They're all, you know, in this trance like that. It ain't really them doing it. It's the spirit that's overtaking them through this frequency. And that's because their mind is untaught. When you have an overstanding of something, then you have a choice. You know, when you understand both sides of the spectrum to understand that, hey, this is wicked and this is not wicked. You have a choice to make, man. You know, and that's been since the beginning of time. Yeah, absolutely. People got to understand that, and therefore I say no excuses, man. But when you see this, that means the spirit of the music is taking over the people, man. And it was way different. You seen back in the day, people was breaking it down, busting a move here and there, you know, enjoying the Soul Train, you know, things like that, really invoking that spirit. And it was you know, when you get into dance, look at you. I'm gonna put you out right now, Ms. Rock True. When you was out there in, let me get this correct, Philadelphia?
I was in Philly, DC, Jersey, New York. Yeah.
Okay, well, one of them places you was at, you was breaking it down with the good sisters out there, man. And you know, you get engulfed in the spirit when you're in a room of vibes like that. Look, we're staying on track with the words that we're using tonight too, man. Vibe, spirit, frequency. You know. We in a room, you was in a room with all of that, and you just seen how all the people around you, man, was in move, in sync, in motion. You know, everybody's breaking it down to the 1-2, man. Everybody's just hitting everything clean, and everybody's doing it to their own style as well. And same as Soul Train too. Soul Train was the same way. Everybody came with moves, but they came with their own styles and personalities. And this is the spirit that takes over. It's always, you know, it's gonna be unseen to the untrained eye, but somebody like ourselves, you know, that could really feel things and feel this sixth sense or this aura or this feeling of anyways. we start to feel how that engulfs us and envelops us, and then we start to look at ourselves on a deeper level as well, to understand that the music is conjuring a spirit, you know, which is why good brother was saying earlier about, you know, Lucifer being the king of music, you know. He seen this tool right here to be used, and he used that tool for whatever his intentions were, man, you know. And it's something deep like that, man. You see, you understand?
No, for real, bro. No, you're teaching. No, you're teaching, and just going like you said, it's a conjuring.
Yeah,
you know, it's a conjuring. They're using these words, and we imply meaning. We are so lazy that we're not going to define them, like you're saying.
Yeah, man.
Words that we're all using. There's the same turnaround of words that we're all using in descriptive elements, and it's like, dude, go back, define the term, because you're thinking you're believing something to be one thing and it's not. And also, guess what? If he knew the tool to use, he was banking on your ignorance too.
Absolutely, man. Ain't that what people do to us? People bank on our ignorances nowadays, man. The young boys that's listening to the music, man, they don't know no better, man. They're ignorant to it, you know? And so therefore, you see?
Play, bro. They think that they really believe that they homie gonna respawn. They really believe in a respawn. This is not Call of Duty. This is not, I know for real, bro. If you, and here's the thing too, and I've always said this, if you look at their talent, how young they are, how talented they really are if they were taken and put into the right direction with what it is that they making the videos too. They're coming up with they're coming up with the ideas. Listen to me. Like they're not I don't want to say that they are ignorant because they're choosing to ignore. However, they're impressionable young minds, and somebody, a handler or somebody who was over them, took them into the wrong direction when that talent, that gift could have been used in a different direction, and nobody would be, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's dying. Nobody's killing each other. They think that I'm telling you, if you watch the background to all the stuff going on with the stories behind their music and stuff like that, how they're talking, like this is play, but they homies ain't coming back. Like they don't want to do this. They don't want to do this. But that spirit, this spirit that's been conjured up, this spirit, this environment that's been put before them, that's now making it seem as if they have no choice. But like you said, once you're presented with an element in which you see right and wrong, you always have a choice. You always have a choice.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree.
Our boys, man. Our
boy. Check this out. Check this out, man. So I'm over here in Gary doing some farming, off of 25th, man. So check it out. The other day, I believe it was last week, man, some young boy, two boys, 15 and 16, man, 7:30 in the morning. There was this, funeral home director, I believe his name, we called him Wally Brodnar. He was a famous, not famous basketball player, but famous in Gary, historical basketball player, was on the championship team for Roosevelt High School, and was the director of the funeral home down the street and such, man. And he came on his regular routine to go to the clock station on 23rd and Grant Street in the morning time to get the newspaper and grab a coffee. He pulled up at 7:30 in the morning just to do that and lost his life, man. 71 years old, because these young boys tried to rob him and shot him. They didn't get nothing from him, but ran and shot him. And you just think about how the music has played an influence with a lot of crimes like this, man. Especially for these adolescents, man. These young folks like that, man, who don't have mom or dad in the crib, man. Mother and father figures in their life, man. Who do they look up to, man? Think about who these young folks look up to, man. They're looking up to all these wicked drill music makers and these recording artists pretending, man. We see this time and time again, man. We really got to think and ask ourselves, man, who are these role models for these young cats, man? If it ain't the people on the inside of the crib, listen, man, things start in the household, man. Racism is not something that's inherently born into somebody. It's something that's taught in the household, man, as well as many other things that we go and do out in the world, man. So let's just look at, I was reading something about LeBron James, and he was talking about he's kind of nervous for his kids growing up because they didn't have it hard like him. They growing up in a big old mansion and don't have no worries in the world. He was talking about how he grew up and seen all these killings and drug dealings and poor and poverty, this, that, and the other around. And that made him into who he was, and to make him into somebody who has some character. Now how does that happen to somebody who doesn't have the privilege of growing up underprivileged? You really don't get to see the other side of the spectrum, and therefore I think we really have to look at the upbringing of people, man, and the way and where it starts. It starts in the household, man. Everything that you teach to somebody, man, they're gonna take that on to the next leg of their life. Everything that I learned from my father, I use that now. I do drywall, I hang it, I tape it, I mud it, I finish it. I put things on roofs. I do all this handyman stuff. I work in the garden, I farm. I learned that from my mother. You see, all these things that I never knew I would take along in my life, I'm taking along with me. And sometimes we have to go through different situations or scenarios to give us that reminder.
Yeah,
absolutely. To bring it back, to bring that reminder.
You're so right in what it is that you're saying. Like, first, I mean, just with the going back to, this starts in the house. Like, everything starts in the house. Like, the teaching that should have been there, or the teaching that lack thereof. You know what I'm saying? Yes. All of that is a result of the home. This is the root cause of everything that we see out into our streets. It ain't the street. It came from, it's rooted, directly connected into the home. And then you go back to, like you're saying, with the music and the children, and they're believing this stuff. And then it's the people that are above them, that are supposedly helping them to make it to next level. They're telling them is tell your story. Tell your story. It's so funny to me, even when we do this in the church too. Tell your story. Like, first of all, the story ain't even yours. Like, the testimony is his testament. You missing it. You think you're supposed to go over and tell everybody your business. That ain't the testament. That's not it. And then going back to the same thing with children and the rapping and what they're doing. They're telling their story, but it's not coupled with any type of responsibility. So all you doing is telling a tale, but you ain't telling us the truth of the tale, because you're omitting a part of the story where there was consequence.
Absolutely. You know, why ain't you talking about why you made this decision and how it was the wrong decision to make, man? You done left something out of the story here, man. Come on, man. Finish the story. Don't give me a half-written book, man, and tell me that it's the greatest thing ever sold, man.
Teach.
I don't like that stuff, man. I see that all too often, man. And I could speak like I do, man, because I used to come from making music like that. Okay, so that's an overstanding. You know, that means I done been in the circle, man, and I understand why things are the way they are. You know, I can't make excuses for why I was doing that back then, man. You know, I was doing it because I was unconscious. I didn't have nobody to show me the light, man. You know, I was unconscious. I was unaware. You know, I didn't know. You know, now I know. So what am I to do? I'm here to right my wrongs and to help all the others behind me, man. You know, I'm climbing the ladder, man, and I see a couple people that I need to grab below me. I need to grab them and bring them up with me. You know, there's many people. It's not just the United States, man. Music goes worldwide. It's something that's inherent in all of us. You know, like I said, it's almost it's one of those things that was born into us. We're talking about the music, you know, being something that's so universal, and how it could help heal people. We think about stroke patients or people with neurological deficits, and you know, I work around a lot of folks like this. So my day job from 6 to 10 o'clock, roughly 11 o'clock, and from 4 to 6 o'clock, I drive a bus for a center for adult disabled. Okay, so that means I got people from all ages, man. A lot of people that had strokes. There's a lot of old folks, man, who maybe got dementia or Alzheimer's as they get later on in the years. And some people, they just, you know, they reach the age where they want to get out the house, man. They don't want to be sitting around while their granddaughter or their caretaker's at work all day, you know. So I pick them up and bring them back to the center. So I get to see all these different levels of deficits, we'll call them. I don't even want to call it, you know, disabilities and stuff like that. And you know, I'd rather use a little lighter word.
Disability. That's what we're talking about on different shows. What is a disability? What defines an inability? Like, tell me what these things are, because and it's so crazy. Just going back to music, and this before we get into Ron Basic and his vinyls. Watching human is very imperative. So we're talking about that response system, the nervous system. And so there was a woman on there who was, did she go blind? She went blind. That's what it was. So she was blind. And so because of that, it heightened the rest of her senses. And so she could sing so well. However, it was like a disadvantage. So she had to reteach herself how to do it. Right. And she was using the vibrations from her neck. She actually had like the marking on her neck to show like the different vibrations. So when she would sing, she would know to sing higher based on, you know, the vibrations that she would feel. So, okay, she has an inability to see, but now it also heightens abilities that I don't have. So is it that now that I'm disabled? So then how can you tell us what's an inability or what's a disability? All it could just be is the fact that I can't do it, but it doesn't make it a non-ability. It's just something I can't do. It doesn't make me have to dismiss or disregard or not say that she's not normal.
This is why most humans look at themselves as superior to everything else. You know, bats they can't see, man. So they have to use supersonic sensing, man. Meaning that they open up another sense to go ahead and feel their way around. Dolphins do it the same way. They use their clicks, man. Blind people are even taught how to do clicks, man. So they could tell how far a particular object is away and how big an object is. You know, I mean, the list goes so deep, man. Bees can't even see. They use the vibrations of Earth's magnetic fields around them. I mean, how does that make them how does that not make them superior to us? Because we can't do that. We can't navigate the world like that.
And even with certain, so the way that the world is recreated, even with certain bees and insects, they can only see certain colors, but those colors are supposed to be so they can go to the particular plant that they're either supposed to pollinate or eat from. This isn't about attraction. This isn't about, it's about, intent, the purpose, the whole intent of what it is we're supposed, the operating system as a whole unit. You know what I'm saying? The whole ecosystem, from how they're pollinating the flowers and different stuff, so that we can eat, so we can have air, so we can, all of this stuff is happening based on, and we're thinking like, okay, well, they can't see, so they blind. No, they're blind because they're not supposed to see that color. They're not supposed to see that. That's for somebody else. And it goes back to all laws of attraction. Same deal with how you ain't even supposed to see a particular person. That's not even your man. That ain't even your woman. That ain't even you. Why? How did you get distracted?
Hey, Rock single is tomorrow.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Well, you know what? While we are on Rock Tribute, let's go real quick to Rhyme Basic, because you were talking about music is universal. Music is across seas. Music is, it has no color. It has, when I tell you, it's so many folks out here, especially on IG. I love IG right now. Like, it's just easier to kind of like navigate through different artists and then what it is that they're into. But one thing I like about Rhyme Basic is his records. He is just, a vinyl connoisseur. And he just, listen, always spinning, bro. I love, going back to vibrations, I love the sound, the screech of the record. I love the beginning of like waiting for, man. You know what I'm saying? The air pops, all of that as the needle is hitting the record. All of this is imperative. It does something. Look at my hands. I am, and so he always has something spinning, and I love him for it. And it's so dope. He finds the things that nobody has, like nobody even really like on, and that's what
I'm saying. That's what's important about diving deep into the crates, man. And I respect artists that's doing that, man. We think about, I'm not gonna take too long on this. I know we're about to jump into this, but I just want to express this before we get into it. We see the lack of musical deepness, I guess you say, diving into the crates, man. Nobody dives back into the crates no more. And we fail to realize that that's where the hip hop music that people are listening to nowadays came from. It's from using these samples. We hear some of these records that Rhyme Basics is dropping, man. Some of these records that he's spinning. A lot of these are samples that are used in many different hip hop songs here and abroad. So it's very deep. It's getting back to the basics, man. And music has reached the time where everything is sounding the same, ain't it? Everything is so repetitive, sounding the same. So we have to resort back to the original, man. There's no other choice, man. We have to resort back to that. And I love the way that Rhyme Basics is spinning them records, man. Vinyl record is one of the greatest sounds that I've ever heard to my ear. Something about it, man. I'm a very analogish guy too. I like tape sounds, but nonetheless, vinyl is so clean and it's so it's got that feel to it. It's something very beautiful. So Rhyme Basic, man, enough respect to you out there, my brethren. Keep on spinning, man. Spinning for life now.
He's spinning for life, bro. Like he is like dopest. I mean, not just the records. Go ahead and play it for us, Will. Not just also the art, like the pictures they take, environmental settings. Like, bro,
This has been used so many times as a sample, man.
Yeah.
Her just did it I have to, bro. I gotta be. Yes, yes, yes.
Hey, heavy hitter, man. Hey, somebody, if anybody know the name of that record, somebody please say it, man.
I don't know the name of the record.
I know what it is.
I
want you to feel. It's not the original, exactly.
Right.
Somebody did it before her.
I know what it is. I just cannot, and I know I just fell in love with it again when her did it over. She did the intro to it over, and I mean, it's the words for me.
All right, leave that on people's agenda for the day, man. That's the homework, man. Hey, man, class is in session, man. We got some homework today, man.
You and Doc. You and Doc, man.
No, right?
I'm creating. I'm doing homework. I want to. I love stuff like this. So I gotta.
Hey, man.
Original.
Quick search. I'm sure if you go to Google or if you go to YouTube and you search some of the words from the song that you know, it's gonna pop up for you, man. It's that simple. But nonetheless, leave homework for people. Man.
Because the way that she sings that that verse is actually that's almost a little sped up. But the way that she sings that verse in the beginning of that song, she's so subtle with it, and then she starts hitting it, and it's like
straight build up.
Did you say Stevie Wonder?
No, what? Stevie
That's
Wonder.
what Doc said. Doc, are you?
Oh my goodness.
Doc, are you Googling? Or
Doc, I love you, but that's
come on, Doc.
Steve, that's a no, Doc, it's not Stevie. It's by a young woman, actually. So
hold on,
we'll find it. That's all for
Denise Williams.
Tune in next week, huh?
Denise Williams.
What you know about Denise Williams?
In his ear. Yep, that's it.
What you know about Denise Williams, man?
I don't know. I won't even lie to you. That was not my era.
I remember her name though.
Yeah. All right, I'll tell you one fun fact for anybody living out here in the 219 out here in Gary, Indiana.
Oh yeah, I was about to say that. Wait, that's her.
What you got to say, man?
She's from here, right?
I used to go. My homeboy, my elder, I'll be talking about it. Stay in her father's old crib, man. Yeah. You know, there's a trip, man. Yes. You know, deep roots. Yeah, on 6th and Pierce.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, right there by the Edgewater building, man. Edgewater Mental Health. Yes, sir. That's Denise Williams' childhood house right there, man.
Wow.
Big crib too, man. Fat crib.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Denise Williams, y'all.
What I'm gonna be up doing tonight. Listening to that.
She'll
take you back, man. Yeah. Beautiful woman too, man. Beautiful woman, beautiful voice.
Yeah.
And it was some girl, boom. And that's what made it confused. So now that's really hidden because when I posted it, I posted the one that her did. And when I posted that on Facebook, the guy responded, I can't remember his name. He responded, he was like, that's the girl from Gary. And I was like, no, I said, no, that's her. Right. I was like, that's her. Right. And then they was like, no, somebody dropped up. Matter of fact, it was Miss Keisha. Miss Keisha dropped the link into the group. So when I hit it, it took me over to another girl. And but it wasn't Miss Denise. It was somebody covering Miss Denise who was from Gary. And that's why I'm like, no, she's not from Gary.
Right.
It's the person sing. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
That is respect right there. Look at that, man. There's a hidden gem here from Gary, Indiana. You know, a song that everybody probably heard, but we never knew.
Everybody, when I say everybody has heard that song, everybody has heard a version of the song.
A version of that
song. I hear this every day on the radio. Every day on the radio, I hear this, man.
Yeah.
Every day.
Couple different stations I be ciphered through. That's what I hear.
Gosh. Because I know it's countless covers. Lauryn Hill did a cover on
this. Yeah, man.
Countless covers.
Yeah.
By heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Not just anybody, but heavy hitters, bro. Like
what about Stevie Wonder? Did Stevie Wonder do it? We asking this for Dr. Ock.
Stevie Wonder fan, and I don't know.
She said he wrote it. Stevie wrote it?
Stevie wrote it.
She said Stevie wrote it. Hold on, let's see. That's
dope. He wrote it, that's deep.
So freaking dope if Stevie wrote it.
Wow. You know what? It's a lot of songs that Stevie Wonder wrote that you would not think. He was your modern day super producer. Like he was literally Oh, you asked your mom? Yeah. But he was like, because I didn't realize it was a couple albums that he did that he wasn't even on, but he was on as the producer. And you sitting there, you like, is that Stevie in the background? Because like you can hear him playing keys, you can hear him doing background, and you know his voice because it's Stevie Wonder. But it's totally different songs. And you're like, that's not something Stevie would normally do. But then you realize, no, there his name is Stevie Wonder, producer, and you like, whoa, so yeah, producer and songwriter, yeah, super producer.
It's saying she wrote it. It's saying that it was Williams, Hank Reed, Nathan Watts, and Suzanne Green. The producers were Maurice White, Charles Stepney. I never heard of the producers, but that Hawk Reed is sticking out to me. I don't know why. Released in the UK, March 1976.
Okay.
Interesting.
Shocking to me. I'm actually not really shocked by that, because when I'm learning about music is that like it's so much music coming out of overseas, bro, and they're so well received.
That's where music is appreciated, man.
That's where it's appreciated, bro. I'm serious. They don't have no judgment in music. Like they appreciate real artists, bro. Right. Real artists, man. I'm like really learning. Like all the people that I'm like falling in love with, and they got mad dope character, and they'll talk to you, and they're like you know what I'm saying? They from the UK, or they're from Germany.
That's right, man.
Because they was
so
married.
Many.
Shut your mouth. Who was married, girl?
Wow.
I'm getting all the juicy.
I didn't know Stevie. I thought he was.
That's why I love Coldplay. Yep, I like Coldplay too. I'm like, Coldplay. For real though.
The last 3 albums I got.
These folks, like I mess with them.
You know what's tripped out? And Marley, maybe you can help me with this one.
Jacob Collier.
What you say?
A lot of the stuff that we are forced, a lot of the trash that we're forced to listen to here in the States, it don't happen over there.
Right.
Like this trap music, nah, you ain't gonna get a whole lot of it.
You're gonna get a whole lot of it. That's you're gonna get it.
It's in certain places where that's expected, right?
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
No, it's pretty. Am I right about that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That is so true. Look, I got folks in my inner circle, man, that could vouch for that have went on worldwide tours, man. You know, and have did a lot of musical shows, man. And the music is not prevalent like that over there. Not relevant, rather. It's not prevalent. Right. Well, prevalent and relevant. You know, both of the words go together. You see?
So look at the way. I love how. But we had just shout out to Miss Tanya Brewer. And when we had her on and she had questioned, she said, you know, when you look at your history books, what do you think that the people from other countries are thinking about you? What's in their history books about us?
Man, it's so different.
It's totally different.
Listen, no, for real. They call America the Great Satan. You know what I'm saying? The Great Satan. So of course, what's received over here and what's accepted over here is definitely not what goes over there culturally. Like they're not allowing that to come in like that. They're like, oh no, you're right, bro. No.
I will say the music that is from the United States, the wicked stuff that is ciphered through over there. I will say that has to do with some of the crime. Actually, a lot of the crime that's going on over there. You see in London, in particular, man, a lot of stabbings going on, man. I mean, it's one thing to get shot, but to stab somebody, that's personal, you know. Yeah. Absolutely, man. And there's a lot of that going on. A lot of this gang stuff, and all of these cats, they're vibing off music like that. For example, when I went to Jamaica, you know, you think Jamaica is this beautiful island place, Rastafari, man. You know, but there's a lot of young boys running around over there claiming 300 Chief Keef BDs and all these different gangs, and they making music mimicking Chicago drill music. Man.
Tim, bro, in Jamaica, the way from Chicago, bro. Like that's what I'm talking. Like that's what we're talking about when we talking about music. And they're over here killing and stabbing and because of what they're taking from a whole nother culture that's not even their own.
It's a wicked weapon, man. You know, it surely is.
Stop.
Hey, that thing powerful, man. That can set you in your place, man. No matter where you are, anytime you play a particular song or particular music, man. No matter where you at, it's gonna determine what happens next. You know, real talk.
brother. You teaching, brother.
You
It's
know,
gonna determine what happens next.
I be feeling like I'm speaking in parables all the time, and I'm not really giving everybody the.
Bro,
I feel like I'm not giving everybody, everything straightforward. I'm kind of making them think. I don't intend to do that, but that's just how it comes out. And I hope everybody can pick up onto that, man, and go ahead and interpret things to the nature that they need to see it.
Hey guys, check out this cool. I heard you. I'm just dealing with this record. Hey, before we go, I gotta hear this track. This is one of my favorite because I just love the way the sounds are on this. Hold on.
Run it. Oh man! Everybody loves the sunshine. Folks get down in the sunshine.
I've always loved it.
Yeah.
Whoa! Where did you get that drum track though? Did you hear that drum track? Oh my god!
I mean, with the authentic, listen to the authentic play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a different from the automated sound.
I'm gonna have to listen to this, dude.
Bro, when I tell you, I love him. He's one of my favorites, man.
So is he adding? Is he remixing the track?
No. He's just playing straight. He loves vinyls.
So you telling me that's on the original record?
I believe so. He's playing records. He's not. He says he makes beats, but he doesn't. He doesn't do that anymore. He's just a lover of vinyl. So he's just playing records.
Because that drum track was nasty.
That's why I'm like, can you hear the original? Like, that's the original sound, bro. Like,
whoever hit that drum lick deserves. That was a cold. It was pop, 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 and then, I mean, that's hard to do. And I don't play the drums, but I knew that was difficult.
I love it. I'm with you, Marley. Like, I love the original sounds of the instruments. Not made up. Because that's what it is. And you go back to even the people that are even making beats today. It's like there's a difference between understanding what you're doing. You know how you're coming up with the answers that sound so crazy. I was watching the thing today how it was Jacob Collier who was talking about how every note can pretty much make sense in any chord in any way. You know what I'm saying? Every note can make sense if you know what you're doing. But if you don't know, like it's more so a lot of people try to say, well, that doesn't go there. That note doesn't belong there. And he's like, no, if it sounds right, it does. You can't just say because if you're and just, I'm so sorry, I'm like rambling, but it just as I talk, it brings me to points and conclusions. So it now goes back to relative keys. And you have origin from beginning to end. And so no matter what, you still have to come back to origin in order for whatever it is that you did to make some type of a sense. You know what I'm saying? So that's what he's trying to show. Like, you can take this in any direction, but you still got to come back home. You still got to come back home for this to make some type of connection or to make sense. And the only way to get back home is through relative keys. You have to have a relative or a related key to get you back, or it's going to make no sense. It's going to go from sound to noise.
It's crazy. It's crazy you talking like that because I was just on something earlier today, man, in deep thought, deep meditation, inspired by another cat, man, who did this TEDx talk, and it was something deep, and he talked about.
Send it to me. Okay.
All right, most definitely, and it's very calm and casual. It's nothing spectacular, but he made a very valid point, and he said, when you play the key or the note C, and then you play C sharp, it doesn't sound like they go together. It doesn't sound like they mash. But if you go one octave higher and play C and C major, it's perfect harmony, you know? And that's why we have chords in music, you know? We have these different chords to play because if you play out of a chord, if you play one note out of the chord, it's going to sound off. It's going to sound distorted. It's not going to sound, something that's natural, I guess you'd say, or harmonic. But when you play those notes that are chords all together, like I said, and not playing the C and the C sharp, but playing the C and the C major one octave higher, those things merge so well together, man.
Makes
And
to
it goes
make
hand in hand with what you was talking about.
Yes, I love like for real. Like I'm sorry, guys. I got to get out of here. I'm a little, behind, but that's okay. I enjoyed it. I'm gonna go ahead and tune in from the back. I got to jump in the
No
car.
pressure.
Yeah, I love y'all, but keep the convo going. No, definitely. Like I love this. Like no, for real. But I love you, Marley King. We'll definitely have
Likewise,
a
nah,
new
likewise.
co-host with us next week. Dot is the
Yeah,
name.
man.
Dope beat maker, and so we'll definitely get a chance to finally have our first interview. And also our new host to highlight. So, guys, I love you guys. Be safe. And I'm listening from the back. Love you, Doc. Thank
Respect.
you so much
Peace.
for tuning in and
One
everything
love.
you contribute to what it is that we're doing, man. I love y'all. I promise y'all, it's like watching this tennis match with you and Marley. I love it. Love y'all.
Love it, man. We feed off each other now. Hey, my brethren, before we wrap it up, man, I just want to show some folks something real quick, man. Check this piece out right here. It may look like, I don't know, glow stick or just something, super ordinary, maybe something that you use for aquatics. But this is actually called a life straw. Can you see that on there?
Yeah.
Life straw.
Yeah.
Okay. And what this is distributed into many different, I guess what we consider poor countries, And
Okay.
this life straw is good for drinking any type of tainted water. So if you're in a survival situation and you don't have no clean water by you, if you just have lead-filled water, if you have pond water or puddle water to drink out of, if you don't have clean water resources around you, this is something wonderful to keep on you, man. This is not just a survival thing. This is something that is very, I guess, prevalent in our everyday life, because you never know when you're going to run out of water. Water is not something that is guaranteed for us tomorrow.
Right.
It's something that's very scarce. So anyways, this straw is equipped with many layers of powerful filters in here. And when you drink this, you take this right off the top right here, and then you open up the bottom. The bottom has this little filter thing on it right there, and there's many other filters that work itself up the chain. Yeah. It almost looks like a mesh bag. Yeah. So nonetheless, this thing is it purifies your water. I believe it's 99.9%, or somewhere, just depending on how dirty the water is. I don't want to vouch for that particular number, because I'm just acquiring this, but I know many other folks who have acquired one of these, man, and it's starting to become more commonplace in a lot of stores, like maybe a grocery store like Myers or Walmart, or places like Bass Pro Shop or Cabela's and things of that nature, where you can get your camping gear or your outdoors gear. But this is something that I'd like for everybody to acquire. It costs $17, man, to acquire, and it lasts 1,000 gallons of water, man. Okay, wow. So 1,000 gallons is a lot, especially if you're in a survival situation and you got to go down and you got to drink water. It's a lot of pools of water from this, man, just to keep you hydrated and keep you going, or whatever situation you happen to be in. But nonetheless, the life straw, man, I just felt that was important to put that out there. I found it something interesting that I acquired the other day. Life straw. Look for it, man. Get in tune.
Cool.
Absolutely, my brother.
Reach out to them and see if they want to do an advertisement.
Man, hey, that's what I'm saying. Free advertisement, man. Life straw, get at me. Get at me, my brother. So anyways, man, it's been a wonderful show this evening, as always, man. It's good to have Miss Selena K chiming in with us, man. Always good to have that third person vibe, man, to complete that trinity. We could always do with the dualism, man. The two of us, always, but that third person is always great, man. Good to see Dr. Ock out there. That's right, 2 or 3, my brethren. That's what I'm saying now. Overstood. But nonetheless, a wonderful show, man. We covered a lot of great topics tonight. We was kind of a little sporadic with things, but we was talking about the power of music in general. And the power of music is defined worldwide. It's something that we've been hearing since the day we came out of the womb, and it's been something that's been with us ever since, and it really affects our everyday movements and motions and our mind states and where we're going, and it also affects our emotions, and it could also be used for healing or ill intent, So we got to be mindful about the music that we consume, and the food that we consume is not the only thing that we eat. We consume through our mind and other portions of our body as well. We got 6 senses. Don't forget about it. Make sure we use them all. Don't get lazy and get only in tune with your eyes, man, and forget about hearing things or feeling things or smelling things or tasting things. Very important these days. Nonetheless, man, it's been a great show. We covered a lot of great topics today. Everybody stay well out there, man. Make sure you get your herbs, eat some good food, catch some good vibes, listen to some good music, read some good books, do whatever it takes, man, to keep you in that positive mind state, man. We want to keep that positive over negative always, man. It's a beautiful thing in life, man. Recognize the beauty in this world, because there's so much of it. Nonetheless, man, great show tonight. Respect, my brethren. Good to see you again. Always a pleasure to see you on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Everybody else out there, make sure you tune in next week. We got a plethora of knowledge to drop on you and many other topics of conversation to cover, man. So y'all stay in tune till next time. Next week, we're going to be here. Tuesday at 7, Rock True Beats. Hey, we out this. Peace.
Yay.